This presentation is about what you need to do when you are setting up a new project in ATLAS.ti. So as you can see, I have ATLAS.ti open, and I have closed down a previous project I had open in it by just doing File Close. And once you do that, you're ready to create a new project, or as you can see in the title bar, a new hermeneutic unit. So the first thing I want to do is to save my hermeneutic unit in a folder which contains the data that I will be assigning to this project. And I will be using what's called the HU special path if I do this, which is a nice way for you to set up a new project. So no matter if you have to move your project from one computer to another, everything will be all bundled together in the same place, the hermeneutic unit with your documents. So I will just click File, Save As, and I will navigate to where I want to save this. So I've already created in my C drive a folder called 00 ATLAS.ti Workshop, and as you can see here, I have subfolders of the different data that's going to be in this new project. I also have already another project in here that I've already developed. There's the HU for that, but I'm going to create a new project using the same data. So I will just name this project Websites Example Project and click Save. And now you can see here in the title bar it now says Websites Example Project. So I've created a new project, but this project is empty. There's nothing in it. But what I want to make sure, even before I have any data I can do this, is to make sure that the design of my project is represented in ATLAS.ti. To help me represent my design in ATLAS.ti, I have created a design framework that indicates the different elements of my research design. So for this particular example project, which is about comprehensive Year 11 students' perceptions of university websites, I have indicated, first of all, that the types of data that I have collected to capture this information. And you can see that in this first column that I have first a short individual structured interview just as a baseline to find out whether they had ever visited or knew anything about the two university websites that are the subject of this piece of research. And then after that I did videos talk-alouds of the students navigating to university websites, which I captured by using a piece of software called Camtasia, which produced videos. Following that, I conducted two focus groups, one with the boys, one with the groups, about their perceptions of these two university websites, and I just collected the audio which I transcribed. I also have photos of the home page, and they were asked to answer three short questions about the photos of the home page of the two universities. And also I have some documents that were downloaded from the websites that they commented on. So what you need to do is think about your own project and think about the different types of data that you collected for that piece of research. You might have a straightforward project where you just did interviews and nothing else, and that's fine. But you need to think through. You might have a more complex project like mine, where you do need to think about the different types of data, because these need to be represented in ATLAS.ti. so that will enable you to just restrict your analysis, for example, in my case, to just the focus groups or just to the talk aloud videos, so that I'm not limited to just always looking across the whole data set. The next thing to think about is what are your units of analysis or units of observation in your project. And in my case, there are 2 levels of analysis. I am, first of all, just comparing individual Year 11 students, but I am also comparing the 2 websites, which in this case were the websites for Bristol and Manchester University. The variables that I have in the project relate to the individual students, so they varied by gender, by A-level subjects that they decided to take, and also about their image of the 2 universities, first before they did the talk aloud exercise and after the talk aloud exercise. So again, these need to be represented in ATLAS.ti. The time frame, well, this was just a snapshot in time, so that's straightforward, but you might have a longitudinal study, for example, in which case you would need to represent the different time periods that you collected your data, and that would enable you to just look at the stuff in time period 1 or time period 3, and also if you are interviewing someone more than once, then you need to put together all that person's interviews or the data that relates to them in one place. And finally is to think about the thematic framework you're going to be using, the codes you're going to be using. And you may not know this in advance, but you may know some of them in advance. So in my area, in my particular project, my focus groups were structured by topic areas, so I know what those topic areas were in advance, so I could represent them in my ATLAS.ti project. I also know that I'm going to start by just coding for positive, negative, and mixed statements about anything, so I could create codes for that. And also I will be looking for statements, comparative statements, so statements favoring Bristol, statements favoring Manchester, or when they're making a balanced comparison. So that's what I know beforehand that I want to start in terms of coding, so I can represent that in my ATLAS project.